This is a story about a shirt. You need to know that before anything else. Because when the story went viral, everyone talked about the principal. Everyone talked about Walmart. Everyone talked about the kids. And all of that is true. All of that is real. But nobody talked about the shirt. And I think the shirt is the whole story. His name is Henry Darby, and every week, 3 nights a week, he would finish his shift at Walmart at 7 in the morning and drive straight to work, where he was the principal of a high school, where nearly 9 out of every 10 of his students were living below the poverty line. Stay with me, because this one is going to change how you think about someone in your own life. Henry Darby grew up poor in North Charleston, not struggling a little poor. Poor in the way where your mother has to be creative about everything. The way where nothing goes to waste. The way where you learn very young that dignity is not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have. When he was about 6 or 7 years old, his mother took him to the dump, and she stopped walking, and she pointed at something in the pile, a piece of white cloth. It was sitting in the filth and gunk, stinky, stained, something other people had thrown away. Henry hesitated. His mother did not. He watched her put her hand into all of that filth and gunk and pull it out. She took it home, boiled it in a kettle in the backyard, and made a shirt for him to wear to school. He wore that white shirt 2 or 3 times every week, from 8th grade through 11th grade. He showed up, clean, present, ready, in a shirt his mother pulled out of the garbage. And he never once felt ashamed of it, because she didn't. That is where Henry Darby comes from. That is the whole education. Not a classroom, a backyard kettle, a mother who never had shame about surviving. He became a teacher, then a principal, then a county councilman. He already had 2 jobs. That will matter in a moment. At North Charleston High School, roughly 90% of the student body was living below the poverty line. Henry knew this number, but numbers don't really do it. What does it is the phone calls. 2 of his students, girls, were sleeping under a bridge. Not metaphorically. A former student and her daughter were sleeping in their car. Another had called asking for help with the utility bills. The lights were going out, literally. Henry sat with that. He was already a principal, already on the county council. He was not a young man. He would later joke that when he started the job, he was working 5 nights a week. Then he said, and I love this, I realized I wasn't as young as I used to be. So he cut it to 3. In the fall of 2020, Henry Darby, principal, county councilman, former teacher, man with 2 jobs already, applied for a 3rd, stocking shelves at Walmart, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. He wanted to keep it quiet, didn't tell his staff, didn't tell the parents, didn't tell anyone, just pulled on the vest and went to work. On his first night, someone called out from the end of the aisle, "Hey, Mr. Darby, aren't you the principal?" It blew him out the water, he said, and he laughed, and he kept stocking shelves. Every night, 3 nights a week. He got off work at 7 in the morning, just enough time to drive to campus before the morning bell. And the entire paycheck, every single dollar, went to his students. Food, supplies, utility bills, the lights staying on. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of distinction. That's a direct quote. Worthy of distinction. He was just doing what his hands found to do. In January of 2021, the Post and Courier newspaper ran a story. And then the Today Show came. And then everything happened at once. Henry was not used to it. The attention, the cameras. He kept saying he hadn't done anything worthy of distinction, which, if you've been listening, tells you everything. The school held a ceremony. The community came. Donations had been coming in from all over the country. $184,000. Walmart gave the school $50,000 on live television. At that ceremony, a student stood up. He said Principal Darby was impacting the community in a very special way. Another said, he's ready to help anybody. And here's the part that gets me. Some of his students used to think Walmart was beneath them. After seeing their principal work there without shame, they got jobs there. Because if a principal can work at Walmart, why can't they? I want to stop for 1 second, because there's something you should know about Henry Darby before we get to the shirt. He grew up right near where that school stands. He played near the same streets those kids walk home on. He knows what's at the end of some of those walks. And he decided that knowing was enough of a reason. The governor of South Carolina presented Henry with the Order of the Palmetto, the state's highest civilian honor. He presented it outside the school, right near the street where Henry and his mother used to visit the dump. And Henry reached down and held up the shirt, the white shirt, the one his mother pulled out of the dump, boiled in the backyard, the one he wore to school twice a week for 4 years. He still had it. And he stood in front of his students and the cameras and the governor and held up a piece of cloth his mother had pulled out of the trash, without a single trace of shame, just like she taught him. I want you to think about one thing before you go. Henry Darby already had 2 jobs. He was not a young man. He was not doing this for recognition. He was not doing it to be seen. He did it because his hands found something to do. Because his mother taught him that surviving without shame is a form of dignity. And that dignity is something you pass down. Henry Darby calls his students his grandchildren. Not students, grandchildren. His only ask of them is that they pay it forward, help others, without charging them anything. He learned that rule as a boy, from his mother, washing windows, cutting grass, visiting old folks' homes, never allowed to charge, just give back. So here's my question for you, and I genuinely want to hear it in the comments. Is there someone in your life doing something quietly? Someone whose hands keep finding things to do, and who never once said, "Look at me." Tell me about them. Let's give them a moment. And if Henry's story moved you, if you believe the world needs more people like him, hit the like button. Not for the algorithm, because when you share something this good, it finds the person who needs it most. Next Tuesday, I'm going to tell you about a carpenter in Iowa who never went to college himself. He saved his entire life. He sent 33 strangers. The lunchbox was sitting on the workbench when they found out. If you're new here, subscribe. We tell true stories about real people doing extraordinary things quietly. Every Tuesday. I'll see you then. And while you're here, watch this one next.